Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are exploring one of the most famous and beloved coins in American history, the Lincoln Wheat Penny. Also known as the Wheat Cent, this small 1-cent coin has become a true legend among collectors because it combines presidential history, beautiful design, rare dates, mint errors, and the possibility that an ordinary-looking penny could be worth far more than 1 cent. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was first introduced in 1909, a year that marked the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first regular United States coin to feature the portrait of a real person, making it a major turning point in American coinage. Before the Lincoln cent, most United States coins featured symbolic figures such as liberty rather than portraits of presidents. The decision to place Abraham Lincoln on the 1-cent coin honored his leadership during one of the most difficult periods in American history and recognized his lasting importance to the nation. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, a talented sculptor whose portrait of Lincoln became one of the most recognizable images ever placed on a United States coin. On the obverse or front side, the coin shows Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty placed beside him and the date below. Above his portrait appears the phrase "In God We Trust," which had already become an important part of American coin design. The reverse side is what gave the coin its famous nickname. Instead of an eagle, shield, or building, the reverse displays 2 wheat stalks along the left and right edges, with the words 1 cent and United States of America in the center. The motto E pluribus unum appears above the denomination. These wheat stalks represented agriculture, prosperity, and the strength of the American people, especially during an era when farming played a central role in the economy. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced from 1909 through 1958, meaning the series covers nearly 50 years of American history. During that time, the United States experienced rapid industrial growth, the Great Depression, 2 world wars, and major changes in everyday life. Each wheat penny is therefore more than a small copper coin. It is a miniature piece of history that may have circulated during some of the most important events of the 20th century. Most Lincoln Wheat Pennies were made from an alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving them the familiar reddish-brown color collectors recognize today. However, the series includes one of the most famous composition changes in United States coin history, the 1943 steel cent. During World War II, copper was needed for military equipment, so the United States Mint temporarily struck pennies using zinc-coated steel. These 1943 steel cents look silver gray instead of copper-colored and remain extremely popular with collectors. The following year, in 1944, the Mint returned to a copper-based composition, reportedly using recycled shell-case material from wartime ammunition. This makes the 1943 and 1944 pennies especially interesting to collectors because they represent a direct connection between American coinage and World War II. One of the most famous key dates in the series is the 1909 SVDB Lincoln Wheat Penny. The letters VDB represent the initials of designer Victor David Brenner, which originally appeared on the reverse of the coin near the bottom. Some people criticized the initials for being too prominent, so they were removed shortly after production began. Because only a limited number of 1909 SVDB pennies were made at the San Francisco Mint, this coin became one of the most desirable Lincoln cents in the entire series. Other important dates include the 1909 S, 1914 D, 1922 No D, 1931 S, and certain varieties from the 1940s and 1950s. Their value depends heavily on rarity, condition, authenticity, and collector demand. A heavily worn common wheat penny may be worth only a small premium over its copper value, but rare dates or high-grade examples can sell for hundreds, thousands, or even much more at auction. Collectors also search for mint marks, which can be found below the date on many Lincoln Wheat Pennies. AD indicates the Denver Mint, and S indicates the San Francisco Mint, and no mint mark usually indicates the Philadelphia Mint. Studying these small letters is important because the same year can have very different values depending on where the coin was made. For example, a common Philadelphia issue may be easy to find, while the Denver or San Francisco version could be much scarcer. This is one reason why collectors carefully inspect every wheat penny they find. The Lincoln Wheat Penny remains popular because it is accessible to beginners but challenging enough for advanced collectors. You can start by searching old jars, inherited collections, coin rolls, flea markets, and dealer boxes, but building a complete collection with every date and mint mark can take years. The thrill of finding a rare key date or an unusual error coin keeps collectors interested generation after generation. In the next part, we will explore the rarest wheat pennies, famous mint errors, collector values, and the details that can make one small cent worth serious money. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series is especially exciting because some dates, mint marks, and minting errors can turn a 1-cent coin into a highly valuable collectible. While millions of wheat pennies were produced between 1909 and 1958, not all of them are equally common. Some were struck in low numbers, some were heavily used and later lost or damaged, and some were produced with unusual mistakes that make them stand out from ordinary coins. For collectors, learning how to identify these important coins is one of the most rewarding parts of the hobby. The most famous Lincoln Wheat Penny is the 1909 SVDB. This coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint and carries the initials VDB on the reverse, representing designer Victor David Brenner. Because the initials were removed shortly after the coin's release, only a limited number were produced. Today, the 1909 SVDB is considered one of the key coins in the entire Lincoln cent series. Even worn examples can be worth a significant amount, while coins in high grades can sell for thousands of dollars. Another major key date is the 1914 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny. Produced at the Denver Mint, this coin had a relatively low mintage compared with many other dates in the series. Because many examples circulated heavily, finding one with strong details and original surfaces can be difficult. Collectors often pay close attention to the mint mark because counterfeit 1914 D pennies exist, and a genuine example should always be carefully examined or authenticated by a professional grading service. The 1922 No D penny is another famous rarity. In 1922, the Denver Mint was the only facility producing Lincoln cents, so every genuine coin from that year should normally have a D mint mark. However, some coins were struck from worn or damaged dies that caused the D mint mark to appear extremely weak or nearly missing. These unusual coins became known as 1922 No D cents and are highly sought after by collectors. The value depends greatly on how clearly the missing mint mark variety can be identified and how much original detail remains on the coin. The 1931 Wheat Penny is also a popular key date because of its low mintage. Although it is not as rare as some earlier issues, it remains difficult to find compared with many common wheat pennies from the 1930s. Collectors building complete date and mint mark sets often need this coin, which helps maintain strong demand. Another fascinating area of wheat penny collecting involves the wartime cents. In 1943, the United States Mint struck pennies from zinc-coated steel because copper was needed for the war effort. These steel cents are easy to recognize because they appear silver-gray and can be attracted by a magnet. However, a few 1943 pennies were accidentally struck on leftover copper planchets. These rare 1943 copper cents are among the most valuable United States coins ever discovered. Authentic examples have sold for extremely high prices at major auctions, but because they are so famous, altered and counterfeit pieces are common. A genuine 1943 copper cent should be authenticated by experts before anyone assumes it is valuable. In 1944, the opposite error occurred when a small number of pennies were accidentally struck on leftover steel planchets. A genuine 1944 steel cent is also extremely rare and valuable, making it another dream find for collectors. Mint errors add even more excitement to the Lincoln Wheat Penny series. Double die varieties are among the most popular, especially the 1955 double die obverse penny. On this famous variety, the date and lettering show obvious doubling, making it visible even without powerful magnification. The 1955 double die is one of the best-known error coins in American numismatics and can be worth substantial amounts depending on condition. Other varieties include repunched mint marks, die cracks, clipped planchets, off-center strikes, and coins struck on the wrong metal. These errors occurred during the minting process and are usually much scarcer than normal coins, which is why collectors often inspect every wheat penny closely. Condition is another major factor in determining value. A coin that has circulated for decades may be worn, dark, scratched, or damaged, while an uncirculated coin can retain its original mint luster and sharp details. Collectors often use color designations such as red, red-brown, and brown for copper coins. Full red examples are usually the most desirable because they preserve the original copper color from the time of minting. Professional grading services can authenticate coins, assign condition grades, and help buyers and sellers understand their market value. Although many common wheat pennies remain affordable, rare dates, famous varieties, and high-grade examples can bring impressive prices. In the final part, we will look at how to collect, store, and evaluate Lincoln Wheat Pennies, along with the lasting legacy that has made this small coin one of the most beloved collectibles in the world. The Lincoln Wheat Penny remains one of the most beloved and widely collected coins in the world because it combines history, affordability, rare varieties, and the excitement of discovery. From its introduction in 1909 to the end of the wheat reverse design in 1958, this small 1-cent coin became a lasting symbol of American heritage. It honored Abraham Lincoln, one of the most important presidents in United States history, while also reflecting nearly 50 years of national change. During the years when wheat pennies were produced, Americans lived through the Great Depression, World War II, rapid industrial growth, and major social transformations. Every surviving wheat penny therefore carries a connection to the past, making it more than just a coin. It is a miniature historical artifact that may have passed through the hands of people living during some of the most important moments of the 20th century. One of the best things about collecting Lincoln Wheat Pennies is that anyone can begin. Many collectors start by searching through old jars of coins, inherited collections, bankrolls, antique shops, flea markets, and coin dealer boxes. Even common wheat pennies can be enjoyable to collect because each one has a date, a mint mark, and a unique level of preservation. Some collectors focus on completing a basic set from 1909 through 1958, while others try to collect every date and mint mark. More advanced collectors search for key dates, double dies, repunched mint marks, high-grade red coins, and famous wartime errors. This flexibility makes the series perfect for beginners and experienced numismatists alike. When examining a wheat penny, collectors should begin by checking the date and mint mark. The mint mark is located below the date on the obverse side of many coins. A D represents the Denver Mint, an S represents the San Francisco Mint, and no mint mark usually means the coin was struck in Philadelphia. These small letters can make a huge difference in value. For example, a common date from Philadelphia may be worth only a small amount, while the same year with an S or D mint mark could be far scarcer. It is also important to inspect the coin for signs of damage, cleaning, corrosion, or alteration. Many beginners make the mistake of polishing old coins to make them look shiny, but cleaning can reduce collector value because it removes the original surface and leaves unnatural marks. The safest approach is to handle coins carefully by their edges and store them in protective holders, coin flips, albums, or archival quality containers. Avoid using PVC plastic holders because they can damage coins over time. Keeping coins in a cool, dry place can also help preserve their color and surfaces. For valuable wheat pennies, professional authentication and grading may be worth considering. Grading services examine coins for authenticity, condition, and surface quality, then place them in sealed holders with official labels. This can be especially important for famous coins such as the 1909 SVDB, 1914 D, 1922 No D, 1943 Copper Cent, 1944 Steel Cent, and 1955 Double Die Obverse. Because counterfeit and altered coins exist, professional verification can protect collectors from expensive mistakes. Auction prices for rare Lincoln Wheat Pennies can vary widely depending on condition, rarity, and market demand. A common circulated wheat penny may be worth only a few cents or a small premium, while rare key dates in high grades can sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. Exceptional examples of famous errors, especially genuine 1943 copper cents and top-quality 1955 double-die pennies, have achieved remarkable prices at major auctions. However, collectors should remember that not every old penny is valuable. The key is to learn which dates, mint marks, varieties, and conditions matter most. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series continues to inspire collectors because it offers a real sense of treasure hunting. A rare coin could still be hiding in an old collection, a forgotten coin jar, or a roll of cents from the bank. Every wheat penny has the potential to reveal a story about American history, coin design, and the people who used it. Whether you collect them for their beauty, historical importance, possible value, or simple enjoyment, Lincoln Wheat Pennies remain one of the greatest coin series ever created. Their legacy has lasted for more than a century, and collectors around the world continue searching for the next rare discovery. Thanks for watching.